It's a lot of garbage diet advice out there floating around on the internet, and it's hard to know what's real and what's fake, which is why in this video, I'm gonna share 7 fake diet tips I continue to see floating around on the internet that's causing people a lot of headache, frustration, and confusion. Now, if you find the video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Let's get to the action. Number 1, you have to eat 5 to 7 small meals throughout the day to keep your metabolism up, so that way you can drop body fat. This is something that I used to believe when I first started my fitness journey and my career. I found myself, hearing trainers in passing saying, hey, if you want to keep your metabolism high so that you can burn body fat, you got to eat 5 to 7 small meals throughout the day, and so that your metabolism doesn't stall out. And so not only did I start telling my clients this, I also started using this advice too. And I found myself cooking meals throughout the entire day, meal prepping every Sunday and every Wednesday. And I just felt like, man, this is a lot. I'm in the kitchen all damn day. And I just didn't like it. But it wasn't until I went to college, got my exercise science degree, and studying nutrition, and also stepping on stage as a men's physique bodybuilder. After my second competition, I just found myself saying, why don't I just eat the same amount of calories on a daily basis, but cut down the amount of meals? Because that's what's most important. A lot of guys are just not aware of that. If you eat the right amount of calories on a daily basis and you hit those protein targets on a daily basis, you'll be able to drop body fat. And so instead of me eating 5 to 7 meals, I cut it back to eating 3 to 4 meals on a daily basis. And what I loved about it is that, being able to eat bigger, more satisfying meals was something that I wanted anyway. And I don't have to worry about cooking so many meals. I don't have to worry about thinking about what I'm gonna eat for my next meal. It just simplified the process for me. And so if you wanna be able to drop more body fat and you wanna build muscle at the same time, you wanna focus on lifting weights, but you don't have to eat 5 to 7 small meals every day. You can eat 2, 3, 4 meals a day and still get the same type of results. As long as you don't overeat, you'll be able to drop body fat and get the results you want. Number 2, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Listen guys, I think I heard this one first when I was in elementary school or middle school, something like that. And I found myself always eating breakfast, always, eating a biscuit, eating something, eating pancakes, eating whatever I could get my hands on because, hey, from all I knew, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But as I got older, as your boy Jay Jackson started getting into college and living life in his 20s, I found myself, still eating breakfast, but sometimes I get so busy throughout the day. I found myself binge eating on cereal, chips, all types of garbage food in the evening time because I had missed lunch. And that's when I started to realize, man, breakfast isn't the most important meal of the day. Like if you miss lunch, that's an important meal too. Because I was missing lunch, I found myself so deprived later on in the evening and I would just binge eat on everything. Maybe you felt like that before. You miss lunch and you find yourself starving and eating whatever the hell you want to eat at dinner. Or you miss dinner and you can't go to sleep because you're so damn hungry and you gotta eat something. And the trainer said, hey, you gotta stop eating at 7 to 8 p.m. or else you're gonna get fat, which still ain't true. And so it's a lot of misconceptions floating around in the fitness industry, man. You can eat dinner. It doesn't really matter what time you eat your meals. I wouldn't say eat your meals, 20 minutes before you go to sleep because you might find yourself not having as good of sleep. But at the end of the day, if you don't overeat over the course of a day, you'll still be able to drop body fat. But in general, all the meals are important. Your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. And sometimes, you may hear about me talking about fasting in my content. Yeah, you can skip breakfast. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, if you skip breakfast, you still gotta eat a certain amount of meals throughout the day. And so that way you can have a certain amount of calories to be able to sustain yourself and not feel like you're starving. Because if you're starving, man, you're not gonna be able to sustain those results long term. We only have so much willpower to give up food, give up a certain food group, cut out an entire meal and just, starve. It's just not gonna be a sustainable route. That's why you see a lot of people who tend to go this route of giving up food, giving up meals, and they may lose weight quickly, but they end up slowly but surely gaining that weight back after they've started burning out. Number 3, eating carbs makes you fat. Guys, I believe this is probably the biggest piece of fake diet advice out there. And I know a lot of people probably believe it. I used to believe it too, but here's the thing. I believe the reason why most people think that eating carbs makes them fat is because when you think about it, eating carbs is a huge staple in the American diet. We got French fries, burgers, rice, potatoes. All these different foods are like the staples of what we tend to eat on a daily and weekly basis. And what tends to happen though, from what I've found, most people overeat on these foods because they can tend to pack a lot of calories in them. A lot of people don't even know that, vegetables and fruit, both of those are carbs as well, but they just don't have as many calories in them. But if you're eating bread, you're eating French fries, I love me some French fries. If you're eating candy, if you're eating potatoes, all these different types of starchy carbs, that's why I tend to separate the two. I call them starchy carbs if you're eating potatoes, French fries, which are also potatoes. You're eating bread, pasta. When you're eating foods like this, these are your starchy carbs. I tend to separate the two. You got starchy carbs, and then you have vegetable carbs like, your asparagus, your spinach, your Brussels sprouts and broccoli, and then you have all your different fruits. And so I say all that to say all three of them are carbs. You got starchy carbs, fruit, and then you have vegetables. But here's the thing, like I said earlier, fruits and vegetables, they don't tend to have as many carbs in them. You can eat more vegetables and more fruits, and it would take you longer to hit the same amount of calories as if you were eating like potatoes or rice or something like that. See, what me and my coaching clients do, instead of just smashing starchy carbs on a daily basis, we'll still eat starchy carbs, but we mainly eat more of those carbs on the days we train. And then on the days we don't train, we just don't eat as much of them because we don't need to. We're not putting out as much energy. It's just like, back in the days when a lot of my buddies used to play sports with me, football, running track, we would eat a lot more food, we'd eat a lot more calories because we were way more active. And then when we stopped playing sports, a lot of those guys got fat. A lot of those guys got way bigger because they were still eating the same amount. They were still eating the same way as when they were extremely active, but now they're not so active. Now they got desk jobs. Now they sitting at the house working on the computer and they're still trying to eat the same amount of calories and all those starchy carbs. And that's how they get big so quickly. And so instead, what you want to focus on doing is the days where you train, where you're lifting heavy, where you're hitting the cardio, you're hitting the weights, you want to focus on eating a little bit more carbs. But on the days you're not really working out, or let's say it's just a light workout, maybe you're just doing some arms, maybe you're doing some abs, maybe you're doing cardio just by itself, then you don't need to eat as many starchy carbs. You just focus on eating more high protein, eat the vegetables, throw a little bit of starchy carbs in there, but you just don't need as much because you're not putting as much energy and effort out there, so you don't need it. And by doing it this way, you won't have to worry about getting fat from eating starchy carbs or any kind of carbs for that matter. Number 4, eating red meat is bad for you. Guys, I used to see people go cold turkey on eating red meat and just meat in general because they thought that eating red meat was bad for them. Now there is some truth to that. Now I wouldn't tell people to eat red meat all day, every single meal because it does tend to have a lot of fat in it. You don't want to eat the red meat that has a lot of fat in it. If it says 70% lean, 30% fat, 80% lean, 20% fat, that's too much fat, man. Every blue moon you can eat beef like that, but in general, you want to stick to the more leaner meats. You want to stick to the beef sirloin that's 90% lean, 10% fat. Yeah, it might be a little bit more expensive, but it's gonna be healthier for you. You're gonna find yourself having more energy. The type of meats that we wanna eat that have fat in it are those leaner meats. The sirloin beef, the salmon, which is an amazing protein source that has healthy fats in it, has the omega-3s in it, And so eating foods like this, these are the types of red meats that we want to eat because salmon is a red meat. It's a fish though, but these are the types of lean meats that we want to eat. And so that way we can prolong our health. We have good quality health and energy, and we don't have to worry about, eating a lot of garbage, red meat that tends to, put our health in jeopardy. Number 5, eating eggs are bad for you. This is another one that I used to hear a lot because guys would say if you eat the yolk in the eggs, it's bad cholesterol. It's gonna, put your health in jeopardy. So you don't want to eat too many eggs. But the truth is, not only are eggs good for us, eggs actually have a lot of good nutrients in it, like vitamin A, D, and E, along with some healthy antioxidants that we all can get on a daily basis from eating eggs. Plus, I don't know about you, but I see a lot of pro athletes eating eggs. And it's because eggs are a great staple for our breakfast, or if you're fasting, it's gonna be like your brunch. You're gonna get a great source of protein in there, and you're gonna get a great source of healthy fats in there as well. And I'm pretty sure, because these people are getting paid for high performance, to be lean, to be fit, they wouldn't be eating eggs if it wasn't gonna be a great option for them to be able to compete at a high level. And so there's nothing wrong with eating eggs, just don't overdo it. And if you want to drop body fat and you're at a point where you don't want to eat as much fat in the morning, just go to egg whites, you know, and maybe put 1 egg in there. Instead of eating 3 or 4 eggs for breakfast, just eat 1 egg and then the rest of it, just eat egg whites. Or you could do egg whites only and you can saute those egg whites up with some avocado oil or some olive oil. That's something that I tend to do whenever I want to switch it up. Number 6, we need to detox our body. Guys, it's companies in the fitness industry that make millions, if not billions of dollars off selling detox cleanses when our body naturally detoxifies itself. Our liver and our kidney, if we didn't have our liver and our kidney, we would literally die because food would literally rot inside of us, decompose inside of us. But because of our kidney and our liver, we're able to detoxify the toxins in our body. And food doesn't just tend to, you know, rot and just decompose inside of us. But when it comes to these detox cleanses, guys, yeah, it's just a marketing gimmick, man. Like, the fitness industry honestly is filled with very sophisticated marketers. And, you know, if they make it sound good enough, people are gonna buy it because, you know, people just wanna be able to find a different way to be able to drop body fat. And it ain't no magic bullet to it, man. You gotta focus on the right steps to being able to drop body fat. You gotta eat the proper amount of food. You gotta eat the right amount of protein. You know, you gotta be able to work out. You gotta be active. You doing these things in the right way, that's how you're gonna drop body fat. But a detox cleanse is something that we do not need to have because our kidneys and our liver already detoxifies our body. And number 7, supplements don't work. Guys, listen, if you were like me, you spent a mini fortune on supplements because I know back in the days when I first started my fitness journey, you know, I buy the men's health magazines, the muscle and fitness magazines, and I would buy all these different protein shakes and fat burners and pre-workouts that were inside the magazines. You know, I'd be drinking 2-3 protein shakes a day. I'd walk into the gym from taking some pre-workout, be itching like hell, walking in the gym. I'm like, man, what the hell going on here? I'm scratching myself going into my workout. It used to be crazy. And I would do this stuff consistently because I wanted to be super ripped. I found myself looking at myself in the bathroom mirror with my shirt off every other day, every other week, and I really didn't see no changes. And so sometimes I was literally working out 2 to 3 times a day, and I'm like, damn, I'm putting in all this effort. I'm buying all these supplements, but I'm still not seeing the results that I want. And it wasn't until I started to understand, man, you can have the best workout plan in the world, but if you have poor nutrition habits, man, you are not gonna be able to see the results that you want, even if you're taking supplements. See, what I was doing wrong, I was trying to prioritize training and taking supplements, but I was neglecting nutrition. But the truth is, guys, you cannot out-train poor nutrition habits, even if you're taking supplements. Supplements, in my eyes, we just use them for more convenience. Like if, for example, let's say I don't feel like eating a whole lot of protein, like beef, chicken, or fish, then I may eat 2 or 3 meals, but that other protein source may just be a protein shake or 2 that day. And so that way I can hit my protein goals for that day instead of, you know, missing that amount of protein and just eating much less protein. And even pre-workout supplements, you really don't need that neither, guys. Like, I used to hate feeling that itchy feeling, you know, and it wasn't until I started just drinking some cold brew coffee or some iced coffee and going into the gym and lifting some weights. You know, I probably wouldn't do the cold brew or the iced coffee from just going in and do cardio. You know, you don't really need, you know, caffeine to go do cardio. Your heart will be going crazy. And so I wouldn't take, you know, coffee or any pre-workout going in to do cardio. But if I'm lifting weights, oh yeah, your boy go get some of that juice. Your boy go get some of that coffee. And the great part about it, I don't have to worry about the itching. I don't have to worry about the scratching, all that crazy bullshit. I feel good when I go to the gym. I feel more energized when I go to the gym. And then the great thing I love about supplements is that it gives us that edge. You know, sometimes in our diet, we're deficient with certain things, you know, different vitamins and essential minerals. And so instead, we can go get a supplement to make sure we're getting those vitamins and minerals in our diet that we need to have. And so that way we have good energy. That way we have optimal health and wellness year round, because sometimes we don't even eat vegetables, believe it or not. Some people just don't eat no vegetables, but we can get the vitamins and essential minerals that we need just from eating and, you know, drinking certain types of supplements. So with that said, champs, hopefully you found the video helpful. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And if you feel like you need some step-by-step guidance from me, you know, with your nutrition, with your workouts, that way you have a game plan on how to get the results that you want, hit the link down in the description, book a game plan call with me, and so that we can put you on the fast track to being able to get the results that you want. All right, guys, we out of here. Let's get to the action.